Big Bad Bill looks him over, gives him the green flag. So as long as the number 16 doesn't end up as a wallflower, he's going to sew up the championship tonight. Down the backstretch they go. And here comes Gary Kleintobe. So Eric O'Farrell has now locked up the championship, so let's see what he can do for this main event. Cole Peterson still on the front row, but look at that. I think he knows now that he's got the championship. He's going to go for gusto. Fastest time going to Gary Kleintobe with a 19.020. And Jarrett Mayo, Mayonnaise. 3 wide going down the front stretch for that second spot. Brian Merle Jr. right in between them. That's a truck sandwich. Watch out. Here comes Gary Kleintobe. It's a free-for-all. Cole Peterson's got it by a bumper. Jarrett Mayo, and now Brian Merle Jr. is trying to find his way back in there. Look at Gary Kleintobe. What, he's going to drive it in the dirt? Holy moly. Something's got to give sooner or later. Oh, and Cole Peterson gets a little loose coming out too. Jarrett Mayo now holds that second spot. Here comes Brian Merle Jr. on the outside for that third position. Side by side coming down the front stretch. 6 laps down. Cole Peterson got loose again coming out of 2. Gary Kleintobe now battling for that first spot. Eric O'Farrell, I believe he's just locked down that gas and just not looking back. So it's Eric O'Farrell, Jarrett Mayo, Brian Merle Jr., Gary Kleintobe, Cole Peterson. Oh, and Cole gets a little loose coming out of 4. Man, he's got the pedal to the metal and the thing to the floor. And now Brian Merle Jr.'s got his sights on second spot. He's coming up right on the tail end of Jarrett Mayo. And now they're going to start coming into traffic. They're coming up on Allison McCarty. Eric O'Farrell, your leader, number 16, going down the backstretch right now. Jarrett Mayo, Brian Merle Jr., Gary Kleintobe. 12 laps done. As they complete lucky lap number 13. Eric O'Farrell, boy, he is just driving a good night. And Brian Merle Jr. now right on the tail end of Jarrett Mayo. Brian's catching him slowly but surely. Number 14, number 13. And now they're both gaining ground on Eric O'Farrell. Something's got to give. It's going to be the 14, the 13, or the 16. And we've got 17 laps completed. And Brian Merle just got loose coming out of turn 2. That's going to cost him a few seconds. And there's the move over flag for the number 33. Oh, and Jarrett Mayo now on the tail end of Eric O'Farrell. Now 19 laps are finished. Jarrett Mayonnaise. Oh, 20 laps done. And Jarrett Mayo's now looking to the inside of the number 16. As he's going for it, side by side coming in at 4. They're just teasing us. And Jarrett Mayo now has a car length down the back stretch into turn number 3, coming out of turn number 4. Here comes Brian Merle Jr. now. And Gary Kleintel right there. 22 laps down. And now Brian Merle Jr. holds on to that second spot. Gary Kleintove goes for the 3rd position. The next time around, they're going to get that solid colored flag, the white flag. Jarrett Mayo, Brian Merle Jr. Gary Kleintove now takes over that 3rd spot. There goes Brian on the outside. And we got a white flag, 1 to go, side by side. Uh-oh. Tonight we're on the loose, and so is the mini stocks. As you're coming around, it's going to be anybody's race. And it's going to be Jarrett Mayo just by a bumper and partial of the front tire.